For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. The weekend is here. Are you ready for it? And it almost feels like summer. I guess depending on where you live, it almost feels like summer. And speaking of the weekend, Father's Day is here, so happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I'm going to talk about Father's Day in just a bit, but there's been so much in the news. I mentioned this last week that the top of the show for the first few minutes we'll talk about stuff that's happened, because a week cannot go by without there being some very, very bizarre stories. Of course, we have the sad shooting at the baseball game that the politicians were practicing early in the morning. I guess that was Wednesday, was it? And what happens is, first of all, there's a good thing that comes out of this. People come together, right? People come together. But then it's kind of like, why does it take something like this happening? Now, as far as we know, nobody has died except for the shooter, right? The attacker. But it takes something like this to have people put down their fists. And I mean that in the, not the literal sense, right? In the, I'm at a loss for words already. In the proverbial sense, in the whatever sense. It gets people to just stop and come together and hug each other and whatever. So, but why does it take this, though? I almost guarantee you that in less than a week, so when we do this show next Friday, I bet the politicians from both sides are going to be slugging it out again. So how long does this civility last? I was watching CNN last night when the actual baseball game was happening, and you have all of the commentators and even some of the politicians they were interviewing go and saying, this is a great time. This is showing that we are the United States of America. But again, maybe in the moment of mourning and saying this is sad, but then on the flip side of it, you do have the debates about gun control and all the other things like that. Now, I'm not suggesting that tighter gun control laws are going to make everything better, because, as even these commentators are saying, a deranged gunman lunatic who wants to shoot up people and cause destruction and death and whatever, he's probably not going to follow the laws anyway. I get that. I understand that point. But at the same time, I don't know that gun laws would make a difference in that case, right? It's just like drinking and driving laws. People still do it. Even though they can die, they can kill someone else, and they can spend a lot of time behind bars, people still do it. So laws are one thing. But I guess there's just this very... And me being a Canadian, I can sort of look at this... We all sort of take a step back when it comes to your American politics if you're in the States listening to this. But we kind of look at it and go, it's so strange that a country is so divided about things and just so passionate about what they believe in, but it's across the board. Like, I'm not saying that everybody in Canada all has the exact same opinions and beliefs and everything like that, but there's a respect for what people believe, and you do accept the differences. So yes, it was sad and tragic and just horrific what happened when these politicians were playing or practicing baseball early in the morning on Wednesday. And it's nice. It is refreshing to see people having compassion for each other and putting down their battle gear and crossing party lines, if you want to call it that. But it took something like it took a tragedy to happen. Now, I'm not saying that I wish maybe there should be more tragedies then and people will be... That's not what I'm getting at all. But why does it take that to have people see each other's point of view and have respect for each other and care about other people's feelings. That's what I saw so much of Wednesday. Thursday, we saw Trump have a really compassionate speech, granted, probably written for him, because it just wasn't in his words, and so to me, I don't believe that it was him, but it came across as heartfelt. And again, the commentators on TV will then go and say, yeah, but then hours later he's talking about crooked Hillary and blah, 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 blah. Why can't we have just a sensitive guy who is like that all the time? I don't know. I like I said, as a Canadian, we just sit back and we eat our popcorn and we watch all this play out. But it's very strange to me, and to a lot of people from what I've been seeing, that look at this shooting event, tragedy, incident, whatever you want to call it, and say, wow, this has really brought together a nation. Think about that for a second. Just think about that. So on the flip side of that, what else is bringing together a nation? Bachelor Nation, I'm talking about, is Bachelor in Paradise. There's this whole scandal. If you don't watch the show, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. Even if you do watch the show, chances are you're probably sick of hearing about the scandal that I'm talking about, is Demario and Corinne, right? Let me get everybody up to speed. We're not breaking any news here because it's been playing out for about a week now, I guess. That the cast was all sent home from Mexico when they discovered that there was some misconduct, in quotation marks, misconduct, according to Warner Brothers, that they haven't specified exactly what it is. So what we're hearing is that Demario, who is the villain from this season of The Bachelorette, which is on right now, he's voted off the show, and Corinne, who was on last season's The Bachelor, and apparently has a boyfriend, but went on the show anyway, because I guess she needs to make money. Reportedly, they are paid between $500 a day and up to $2,000 a day if they are one of the popular people, if they're one of the crap disturbers, let's say. And so Corinne, apparently with a boyfriend, went on the show. Her and Demario making out. TMZ has got into the graphic details about what they were doing in this pool or hot tub, whatever it was. And a producer on the sidelines is like, whoa, Corinne is too drunk. This has gone too far. I've got to file a complaint with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers comes in, starts an investigation, shuts things down. So now we're hearing about Demario is this horrible guy who took advantage of her because Corinne is stumbling over drunk and not lucid and doesn't know what's going on. Yet she's, full on sticking her cooch in his face and doing all these other things. And she comes out with a statement earlier in the week saying that she's a victim and as a woman and blah, 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 I've got to stand up for myself. At the same time, you're going onto this show where people do get messed up drunk and sloppy. And if you're also in a relationship before going on the show is about hooking up and trying to find a romance with somebody, you're kind of a whore yourself, let's put it like that. And then at the same time, you're also an adult, so you should be able to be responsible for your own actions. Yes, I understand that producers are there and maybe, according to reports, sometimes manipulating the scene and manipulating things that are happening and the events that are transpiring. But you control yourself. It's no different than when I've gone to an all-inclusive resort and the first day I drink my face off and I might be falling down drunk or whatever it is, but you know what? I am not now going to start blaming other people. I understand that in some places where I'm from, that yes, a bartender or a restaurant or an establishment, whatever it is, can be held liable if you get in your car and you go drunk driving and kill somebody. They can be held liable. They can get in trouble for that. But you're an adult. You can handle your own liquor. The producers of The Bachelor, as far as I know, are not daycare staff. They're not there to watch over you. They're not there to hold your hand and hold your hair when you're puking in the toilet. They're there to produce television. If you really believe those producers want you to find love on the show, then you're badly mistaken because you're completely clueless as to what the whole concept and the premise of the show is. So it's interesting that both Demario and Corinne have reportedly lawyered up and are looking to either escalate this or, Demario saying that he's not a villain, he wants the footage released publicly and he'll be vindicated. And for her part, Corinne says that, she's been victimized and she's got to speak up for women and has to still come together with everything that's happened. So it's disaster, it's tragedy, it's drama, it's everything that you love about The Bachelor, but now apparently getting into legal issues for some reason. So it is a very strange twist and turn that there have been developments every day. Bachelor in Paradise, as far as we are hearing, is canceled this season. It will not air on ABC. It was supposed to debut in August, but sources close to production are saying it will not happen. There was talk that it could, that either a new cast would be brought in or some of the previous cast would be brought back to Mexico. But as far as we're hearing, they're all back home now. And some of them are talking, some of them are not. But you've got some previous castmates who are going and saying, you know what, the producers are not there to babysit, and they're not there pouring drinks down your throat. You're an adult, you're responsible. If you get out of hand, that's on you. There was another unnamed cast member who apparently told TMZ that Karine, called out her name and waved to her when they were rocking in the pool. So for her to be claiming that she was completely out of it, and maybe she was after the fact, because there is that time when you're drinking, and then you know that you're drunk, or you know that you will be in about an hour because you're feeling it. There's that sort of that window of time where maybe I stopped drinking an hour ago, now it's hitting me, and now I am feeling it, and now I know that I'm out of control. But I don't know. I guess the one good thing about this is cameras are rolling almost all the time on Bachelor in Paradise, so it is probably easy to verify stories and accounts that people are giving. But again, there's another part of you that if you do watch this show and you know what goes on, you know what happens, and you know what the concept and the premise and everything is she just doing this for attention? Is she just maybe wanting lawsuit money? Why is this happening? Now, again, I'm not saying that she started this, right? It was a producer that filed the complaint with Warner Brothers, but now for Karine to lawyer up, the fact that production was shut down and somebody said, oh, bad stuff happened, does that just trigger, oh, I can cash in, I'm going to sue, and I'm going to get a whole lot of money? Would love to know your thoughts on this. We do have to take a break. But send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com, and feel free to weigh in. Would love to hear your opinions. And we're also on Twitter at The Scribble Show, so check that out. Follow along at The Scribble Show. We're back right after this.
Airfares go up and down more than planes themselves. Pricearazzi.travel has you covered when flight prices change on Expedia.com. If the prices drop, you'll be sure to know about it. There's already so much to remember when you travel, and you shouldn't have to worry about paying more than you needed to on your flights. Let Pricearazzi.travel keep an eye on that for you. Your biggest concern should be if you've packed enough money to buy all the trinkets you really don't need, or if your swimsuit shows off enough skin in all the right places, or that while you are away, the kids have enough food in the kennel and that the dogs get to school on time. Wait, flip those last two. Simply register your email address with Pricearazzi.travel and then book your flights on Expedia.com. Your itineraries are automatically sent to Pricearazzi, and you could do your happy dance if the flight becomes cheaper in 24 hours. Better yet, you could actually end up flying for free. And who doesn't love free, right? Find out how to save on your Expedia flights at Pricearazzi.travel. Avoid bank account turbulence and sign up now at Pricearazzi.travel.
Jeremy Bradley here on this Scribble. So happy Father's Day, everybody, at least to the dads out there. I don't say happy Father's Day to the moms, but maybe, you never know, I'm not going to discriminate. So it is Friday afternoon. Father's Day weekend is here. Have you bought a Father's Day gift? Have you planned for Father's Day yet? The reason why I'm saying this is that I find that okay, fine. Maybe it's just me, but I want to know your thoughts. That when it comes to Father's Day or Mother's Day, I'm going into Friday afternoon, I'm going into the weekend, not having bought a Father's Day gift yet, or Mother's Day, okay? Are you the same way? So it's also not uncommon with my older brother, so I'm the youngest. It's not uncommon for us to text around and go, okay, wait, are we doing something for Father's Day? Like, what's going on? Are we going to Mom and Dad's place? Are we going out somewhere? Are we having them over? Is it brunch? What's going on? So it's not uncommon for us to do that at all. So I don't live under a rock. I go to the malls. I see the signs. You've got, the coochie, keechy pictures of Dad with his kids and the big smiles. And that doesn't motivate me to buy for Father's Day. It might give me that goofy reminder that, okay, yeah, that's right. Thanks, store, for telling me that I've got to get my dad something. And it's not like I forget. I just don't put much thought into it. And if I happen to be getting a haircut and then I'm out and about and then I'm like, you know what, like go get something for Dad, then I will. But I'm not thinking about it on June 2nd going, okay, you know what, Father's Day is in a couple of weeks. I should get him something now. Is it just me, or do you do this as well? Maybe our lives are just so busy and we're so distracted by other things that we don't put much thought into it. But again, ditto for Mother's Day. Now, at the same time, I also feel the same way about their birthdays. I don't sit there planning for weeks in advance about what to get them for their birthday. Unless there's a concert or something happening that I know they're going to like, then okay. Then I'll book, I'll get the tickets, and who am I kidding? I don't pay for the tickets. I get them free. But it's not something I plan in advance. Now, on the flip side of that, for your own birthday, you might have your plans 2 weeks in advance of where you're going, right? I'm going for dinner here to this restaurant, we're going to this bar after, and there we go. But it's something like Father's Day or Mother's Day that we just don't put much thought into it. Christmas, because you know it's the Christmas season, it's not just one day in our family because we end up having 3 or 4 days. We're practically Jewish. We have so many days of get-togethers. But in our family, you're having to plan, okay, well, I'm making the turkey, so I've got to plan a week in advance to get everything that I need and have things ready, and you've got to buy for so many different people, buy gifts for so many different people, and you're doing this, so you can't escape planning Christmas. Don't get me wrong, I am that person who's buying the presents 2 or 3 days before, but it's not like I forgot that Christmas is coming, because you can't escape it. But Father's Day, Mother's Day, again, it's one of those things where I will go, and I know my brothers are the same way, where they'll go and they'll get something. I was going to say an hour or two before our get-together. Maybe that has happened, I don't know. But we're certainly not planning that far in advance when it comes to Father's Day or Mother's Day. Same thing for their anniversary. Again, it's kind of like, oh, right, it's their anniversary. And I thank Facebook for reminding me when people's birthdays are now. I didn't realize. I used to get so annoyed with notifications from Facebook. And I would have the dates set on my phone that it's my dad's birthday today, my mom's birthday today, my brother's birthday today. Now I get that email of, here are the birthdays today. And it's quite helpful for me. But again, I don't plan in advance for things like that. So I would love to know your thoughts if you do this. What's the email address for this show? live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Back here on the Scribble, in that last segment, I was talking about Father's Day and Mother's Day. Now, here's the deal. I've got another story about my parents. My mom and dad won a radio contest 30-some years ago and got tickets to the Journey concert. Okay, so my mom was pregnant with me. This contest was pretty big. They got limo service, so they were picked up at home, they got taken to dinner, they got to hang out with the band backstage, which she still has the black and white photo, of them backstage with the band, smoking, of course, because that's what you did in the day when you were pregnant, and I turned out just fine. You can't see, but I'm doing a tick in my eyes, flinching. But they won this big contest with Journey, and so my mom, I'm going to spill the beans here, my mom turned 60 a couple years ago, and wouldn't you believe it, Journey was playing in my hometown of Winnipeg, Manitoba, the day before her 60th birthday. Now, my mom thought this was the coolest thing. She wanted me to see what I could do about getting into the show. It wasn't hard, because it certainly was far from sold out, let me just put it that way. But the band has changed over time, right? It's new people in there. You've got that young guy. So my mom actually wasn't really impressed. But the bottom line was, this is pretty cool timing that for her 60th birthday, Journey is in town. So then last year, for Father's Day, Garth Brooks was in town. And he did an entire weekend of shows in Winnipeg. And so my dad, who went to a Garth Brooks concert with my other brother 20-some years ago, we surprised him. And we did it live on our radio show. My mom was told to get him ready to go out. She was instructed to not tell him where he was going. She said that she didn't. I don't buy that. I think that she probably would have spilled the beans, because my dad is that kind of guy who's a curmudgeon, and he's going to want to know. I'm not getting dressed up. If you don't tell me where I'm going, I'm not going. So I'm just guessing that's what happened. But then we surprised him on the radio with tickets to the show. So we had Garth Brooks for Father's Day last year. And then, so just a couple of days ago, on the 14th of June, my parents' anniversary, the Oak Ridge Boys, which again is one of both of their favorite groups, was doing one stop in Canada, in Winnipeg, at the casino that they love, which is where I met, we were backstage with Kenny Rogers for our show, if you remember that, a year and a half or so ago. Anyway, their one Canadian concert is in Winnipeg on my parents' anniversary. I mean, again, the timing. Is this coincidence? Is this fate? My parents are not huge music lovers. They're not big into music that they love them. Oh, I'm going to play this person's music all the time. They're not. They're like, they'll put on the oldie station or the country station and then just listen to the music, right? They don't really. Even my dad, when he was a big Garth Brooks fan 20 some years ago. So the gimmick that we had for him to win these tickets, which we were going to the show anyway, so it didn't matter if he got the questions right, was I presented to him a bunch of fill in the blanks of Garth Brooks songs. So it was, I'm trying to think of one. Blank Pina Coladas. Right, the song is called Two Pina Coladas. So my dad got almost every one of them wrong, which is actually kind of embarrassing because Garth Brooks people hooked us up with tickets for the show because my dad is such a big fan, but he couldn't name any of the songs. But he did know the words to them when we were singing along in the audience. So I found that to be very funny. You don't know the names of the songs, which are generally spelled out at some point in a song, right? But anyway. So it just seems very coincidental. So Journey was the concert that I first went to when I was in my mom's belly. And then they're coming into town the day before her 60th birthday. Father's Day, Garth Brooks. The Oak Ridge Boys on my parents' anniversary. So it's incredible how those types of things work. Have you had any weird coincidences like that? Do you believe in fate? Like, is it something? Is it a sign? Send me an email, live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. You know, hearing that commercial for Mexico, YouTube star, and I hate to use that, YouTube entertainer, YouTube video uploader. I don't like saying YouTube star. His name is Austin Jones. I'd never heard of him until he was arrested for child porn, but apparently he's got quite a following, and he's going to look really attractive to people in jail. So let's just back up for a second if you don't know the story. Like I said, I did not, but I'm an entertainment reporter, so as soon as he was arrested earlier in the week for child porn, I kind of took notice. So this is a guy who sings, he does like cover songs of people on YouTube, and much like most social media whores, really wants attention, really wants you to love him. He wants you to like everything, he wants you to share this, he wants you to tell your friends, he wants to do all that. And apparently, when it comes to little girls, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, he wants them to make dirty videos and send them to him. So in, I don't remember how many pages of illegal filing it was that I guess the FBI is also involved. He was arrested in Chicago, in the Chicago area, earlier this week. He was talking or writing to girls on Facebook and also giving his personal contact information and instructing these girls what to do on video. So it would be something like, go up against the wall and start shaking your butt. Or take off your underwear and clap your butt cheeks together. And basically, you know, show me your hole. Show me your this. Show me your that. Well, you know what, buddy? You're going to be hearing that in jail, let me tell you. And it surprises me. And we have these scandals with politicians or whoever, right? That how do you not think you're going to get caught? It's one thing to use your celebrity status, because what he was wanting these girls to do was prove that they are his biggest fan. Prove to me that you're my biggest fan. Show me your tits. Pull down your underwear. Bend over. Show me this. Show me that. Hey, and also, by the way, he was telling them on the video to say things like, yeah, this is only 14. Can you believe this is 14? He was basically scripting them to acknowledge that they're underage and that they're doing these things for him. When you look at him, I honestly thought he was like a 16, 17-year-old kid. Not to say that that would make it any better. That's not what I'm getting at. But he's 24 years old. He was arrested. He's facing charges of child porn. At least 2 females have come forward saying that they had to send him explicit videos on Facebook or online. And now, the police kicked down the door, and he's admitted to this, by the way, because I guess throughout the investigation, and again, like I said, I was reading the legal documents that show, I don't know if it was the FBI, the investigator in this, did reach out to Facebook, did reach out to Apple, because he's an iMac or whatever user, or an iPhone user, and they were gathering the information about the logins and IP addresses and all these things. So there was quite an investigation. And when you're presented with all of that, it is kind of hard to deny it, but whatever, I guess some people do, right? So anyway, here's going back to the whole, you're a celebrity, quote-unquote celebrity, and you're doing this stuff online. As we're exactly seeing here, there's a digital paper trail, we'll call it, that all these girls have to do is screenshot it or go to authorities or anything and show it on your phone. As far as I know, you can't make up Facebook messages. So if I go into a police station and I bring up Facebook on my phone and scroll through, I don't believe that that's something that I could have made up. Or I could even go on to their computers there and say, hey, can I just log on to Facebook on my account? I want to show you these things. Sure, you could argue that, hey, he was hacked and it's not really him and it's somebody else doing it or whatever, but come on, when you're caught, you're caught. So he is facing upwards of, I believe it's 15 years behind bars for this, and I don't get it. And now I'm going to throw something else out there, and I don't take it as though I'm condoning sex with a minor, because I'm not doing that. But when you think about it, wouldn't that be easier to get away with? Again, not condoning being a pedophile. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the stupidity of what he's doing on the internet where it's easily tracked. They're both wrong, right? I just know somebody's going to take this the wrong way and be like, oh my god, you're suggesting he actually just hook up with these girls? No. But what I'm saying is, his logic, obviously this was okay on the internet, but you'd think then that wouldn't it be easier, hey, it'd be less likely that I'm going to get caught if I just hook up with these girls in person and have these do things, instead of making them make videos that he's probably just jerking to at home. So that's a sad state of affairs when... And again, maybe we're lucky that he's just looking at these things on a computer and not approaching the girls and being a predator like Bill Cosby. And so, I don't know. Either way, he's screwed, and he was supposed to appear in court on Wednesday. There were reports on Wednesday that he did not have a lawyer. He had not entered a plea, so it's kind of strange as to where it's happening, and there hasn't been an update as of at least this morning when we're talking about this on June 16th. But definitely, here's a kid who, like I said, if you're all about social media and putting everything out there, you're so stupid to have people, do that. And of all things, have them announce their age. At least have them lie on the video and say, can you believe it? I just turned 18. And again, I'm not saying that would even be right. What I'm saying is, here's a kid, not even a kid, 24 years old, Justin Bieber wannabe, lookalike. Here's a kid, and his name is Austin Jones. Feel free to look him up on YouTube and Twitter and all these other things, because people are bashing him. I just think you're an idiot, you're a disgusting pervert, and you're getting what's coming to you, and you're in jail. That's all I gotta say. We're back right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
That's right, we're on Twitter. And remember to send me your naughty pictures on Twitter as well. So let's go from Austin Jones to Alex Jones for just a second. Megyn Kelly is interviewing the guy who says Sandy Hook didn't happen. All those kids weren't really killed, didn't happen. And people are outraged because Megyn Kelly's show is new. new to NBC News on Sunday nights, and she's already going controversial. She started with Putin, now this guy. And people are outraged, saying, why are you giving somebody a platform like this? He already has his own radio show or whatever the hell he does. Why have him on your airwaves now and give him that platform to now try to share his message with other people? Let him use his hateful platform for his own being. Why bring NBC News into this and your new show? Apparently, advertisers are dropping out, not to the extent that we saw with Bill O'Reilly on Fox News, but some companies are saying once this is over, then we'll be coming back, according to a rep at NBC. But is it right for people to just be so outraged that they call for a boycott and that's it? Whatever happened with being able to have your own thoughts or just not watching? Send me an email live at jbonair.com. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Happy Father's Day, everybody. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,